Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. Stephen St. John and Nate Bukaty with Jake Gutierrez and Deebs, a.k.a. Dylan. So we got a full house. Then we're going to talk to Chiefs wide receiver Marc Boerigter, so it'll be an even fuller house. Jamie Bluma makes his first appearance of the baseball season. That's at 8 o'clock. And then Greg Gurley.
Oh, boy.
GG. will be with us at 9:05. How about that?
GG.
How do you like that?
Sounds like a hell of a show.
Nate, you're here. How you doing?
I'm great, man. How are you?
Good.
Well, good. Good's better than bad.
I've had the, what's the word here? Not desire, because I don't want to, but I've been nauseous for about, let's see, what time is it?
Oh.
About 12 hours. Like I don't know how, if you, when you're, you know.
Trying to hold it down?
Dude, I've just been like unbelievably nauseous. Like even I woke up several times in the middle of the night and just like, you know, having weird dreams, or I think I might have ate something bad.
I was just about to say, what did you have yesterday?
Who knows? I don't know. The last 4 or 5 days have been like a blur. I've had so many things, you know, no pun intended, so many things on my plate. But it's, you know what? It makes things fun. Lots of shopping with my daughters.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's what made me nauseous.
What are we shopping for? A prom? What's going on?
No, not. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, prom's on the horizon, but we haven't secured those dresses yet. But that's coming. No, Saturday was shopping for track.
Ooh.
Lots of, I don't know.
What kind of gear do you need for track outside of the shoes?
Track clothes are expensive.
They are, huh?
Like,
so if you don't get like the school uniform, you got to buy your own.
They
stuff?
get, well.
I guess it is. Yeah, it's different.
You gotta. We ordered the shirt through the school, but like, she likes certain shorts.
Yep. The leggings.
Yeah. The Nike Pro shorts.
Okay.
And she wanted multiple colors to wear in practice. And then you have to get a certain color that goes with the uniform. But then on the cold days like this, you need some leggings. You need a hoodie. It was, you know, I think we ended up 4 shorts, a hoodie, 2 leggings. I mean, you know, it all just adds up. It's all fun.
And it all adds up.
It's all fun and games.
Yeah. Well,
you know, some shoes.
What's another pair of shorts?
It's all good. I want her to be happy. She's very good at what she does, and she's a very good track athlete. So.
And the most important thing, she's out there doing it.
Right.
You know, you want your kids to be active. You want them to be.
We had fun.
Participating. That's great.
We had fun.
But it's busy. Takes your time up too.
That was good though, you know. And so there's just been a lot of kids' activities as always. You get it, you know.
Yeah. Oh,
but I just want to do things without thinking. You know what? I might have to go yak real quick.
Well.
That's
a luxury.
That brings things down.
That's a luxury.
You know, that brings things down.
Yeah. Well, I hope you don't need to throw up today.
Well, I'm gonna. You know what? If I do, I do. Sometimes it's okay to purge.
Right.
Play the purge siren. Maybe that'll get me to do it. That's all right, man.
There was a time I was with my buddy Billy. We were walking into a buffet-style restaurant.
Oh, yeah. Billy!
And there was a couple that were walking out of the restaurant.
Right.
And the lady between the two of them, all of a sudden like grabbed at her stomach and ran over to a trash can and started throwing up. And we were getting ready to walk into this restaurant.
Oh boy!
And Billy walks up to the husband or whatever and goes, "Excuse me, what did she have?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, she had buffet."
No, I'm the one that tests things. Like,
The cream of some young
my
guy.
my wife's like really strict about this. Like, something's been left out for 45 minutes. She's hey, because she works in a cafeteria and stuff. No, you can't eat that now.
Right.
And I'm looking at her like, does she realize I'm eating a piece of pizza that's been out for 17 hours? She realizing I'm eating something I forgot to put away in the fridge last night. Oh, yeah, I won't. There's no way I'll eat that.
Oh, leftovers I put in the car overnight? Yeah.
So I think, yes. Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
maybe something like that came back to bite me. And she's,
I've certainly been a victim of that.
I get it. Well, last night, perhaps all apologies to Michigan. Perhaps the two best college basketball teams were on display on Big Monday. It provided a showcase for their talent, but did not provide compelling basketball to watch, as Duke absolutely motored through NC State. NC State's not a bad team. They're 19-11 overall, 10-7 in the ACC, but they had nothing for Duke, 93-64. And really the same could be said for Arizona and Iowa State. Arizona is just too good. And Iowa State, that's a good basketball team. They're 24-6 and 11-6 now after last night's loss. But Arizona, they had the 2-game losing streak, and that's it. And it looks like, hey, if you tell me you think Arizona's the best team in the country, I'm not going to argue with you too much. They win 73-57 last night. And so, there it is. Big 12 champs, Arizona Wildcats. 15-2, 28-2 overall. The only two losses at Kansas on a Big Monday, and
It's the Big 12!
literally nobody goes to Allen Fieldhouse and wins on Big Monday. So I don't know how much can you penalize them for that.
Right.
No one else has done it. Why didn't you do it?
Right.
Well, I don't know.
Why couldn't you be the
Right.
first team ever?
And they lost to what can be a very nasty Texas Tech team. And you lose to Texas Tech anywhere, that's no shame. That's a damn good basketball team.
Second best record in the Big 12.
But that's it. And that's all. They beat everybody else. And really, since they lost those 2 games, you look at what they've accomplished. They beat BYU. They won at Houston. They were able to avoid the upset at Baylor. Even though they were down 10 in that game, they won by 7. And then they basically blow out Kansas and Iowa State. Now all they have left is at Colorado, and they ain't losing that one. So really impressive, because considering the level of competition they were going to have to face, they were, after they lost 2 games in a row, you had to at least question, okay, is this the best team? Is this team we went from watching them go undefeated for most of the year to questioning, okay, are they even going to win the Big 12? And when adversity hit and they lost a couple of games and they lost one of their best players for a little bit in Koa Pete, they responded. Probably the most impressive win of all those was winning at Houston at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were not 100% and they still won at Houston. When they did that, that's when I think most people decide, okay, that's still the best team.
Yeah.
They might have lost to Kansas, they might have lost to Texas Tech, but great teams like that respond, and they vary. And look, that things could have gone a different way if they lost at Houston, but they won at Houston, and they just put on a show the past couple of days. So,
well, if they had lost, the league would have been tied, right? They'd have been both Both with 3 losses.
It's just who knows that there would have been more pressure on them. Other teams would have felt more in it. Could have changed the course of what happened after that.
Yeah.
But once they won at Houston, I think that settled in. Like, oh, okay, we're good. We're good.
We're all right.
So
they're the. I mean, I don't think anybody would debate. They're like sometimes somebody wins the league because.
No, they're the best team in this league.
Yeah, I don't
There's
think
no
anybody's gonna
argument
debate
for anything
that.
else.
No.
On any given night, as we've seen, Kansas could beat them, Tech could beat them. I mean, Iowa State could beat them up in Ames. I'm sure Houston could beat them if they had another crack. But just overall, they've proven, and they have a 2-game advantage. They've proven that they're clearly the best team in this league. Does that mean they're going to go win the Big 12 tournament? No, that doesn't always equate.
But they just smacked down 2 of those best teams you're talking about. They didn't just beat Kansas and Iowa State. They
But if you tell me they're going to come to Kansas City and win it all, I'm not going to push back too much. I would say just because of fan advantage, I would you always lean towards Kansas or Iowa State. Iowa State loves it.
Yep.
But man, Arizona's just so good. They're stacked. They're loaded.
Yeah.
They're like Lebo ordering those 50-ounce cans of beer in Indianapolis. Absolutely loaded.
50-ounce cans.
What ounce were they? What was he getting?
Well, he claimed they're 25 ounces.
No, but then he got an even bigger one that, this guy was getting,
He's
only had 3 of them.
40s.
Yeah, so.
Edward 40 hands.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing up there, huh?
Yeah, we send him out there to work and
Work hard, play hard.
he's
That's right.
He gets things done.
duct taping 40s to his hands.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes to get the scoop.
Right. That's exactly right. So we talked a lot yesterday about the Chiefs and about what they're going to do to address the running back situation, who's available, and the aforementioned Lebo brought up David Montgomery being available via trade, and I just told him, sounds like a 5th-round pick, maybe, is what it would take to get him. And I don't know that the Chiefs are in the market right now to be giving up draft picks for 28-year-old running backs. Although I like him and he'd be a dramatic upgrade, it just didn't feel like it was a perfect fit. And so it was funny. Schefter reported that David Montgomery was traded to the Texans. And I talked about this with you, Jake, last week. The Texans had to go out and improve their running game because they right now have a championship level defense and they have a quarterback that they right now, say what you want, whether you like Stroud or not, you can't trust him because of what you saw in the postseason. So you're hoping that he could bounce back, but you don't know. And so what do you just, if you look at what they were last year, and if they could have just somehow mustered some more offense, they could have come out of the AFC.
Yeah.
And gone to the Super Bowl. I don't think they would have won it, but that's to make the Super Bowl is something significant. They could have been AFC champs, but C.J. Stroud just wasn't up to it, and they couldn't generate enough offense. And so, if you can't trust your quarterback, go out and invest heavy in the running game. And so, and that's why I said that's an example of a team that if they could somehow get their hands on Jeremiah Love, I don't care if it's in the first round, you do it, because then you could tell yourself with a straight face, hey, if we had Jeremiah Love last year, we might have gone to the Super Bowl with this defense.
Right.
So they don't wait. They acquired David Montgomery in a trade with the Lions, but Schefter initially reported it as a 5th-round pick. And it stuck out to me because I was like, oh, hey, I was right. It says a 5th-round pick to Lebo. Huh. And then, I don't know how many minutes later it was. Jake, I don't know if you were following the timeline of this. Then, he updated compensation. And it changed. And usually it's like, for a draft pick, and then he tells you what the draft pick was. But he was specific and said 5th-round pick. And then there was some time went by, and it's here's the updated compensation. A 4th-round pick then a 27 7th-round pick, and offensive lineman Juice Scruggs. I go, oh, that's different than a 5th-round pick. And so then the buzz started going around social media and in NFL circles that when that trade, the news was floated out there before it was made official, some other teams might have got on the phone, or at least one other team, and called the Lions and said, hey, we'll give you something more than that. We top that. And so there might have been some last-minute negotiations that got a little bit more for...
Drove the bidding up.
Yeah, the Lions in their return for David Montgomery. And I'm not saying it was the Chiefs.
That's funny
but who
communication. Like they it's like if you're the GM of the Texans, you didn't check with anybody else.
Or
Like,
or the Lions like, hey, we're put this out. We just got off our 5th-round pick for,
Right.
Put that out there.
Right. There you go.
See if anybody else has any offers for us.
Yeah, when Adam Schefter reports something, that doesn't mean it's official and turned into the league. That's just,
they're working
sources,
on it.
right.
Yeah.
Sources say.
They're close to finalizing a deal, right? Something like that.
right.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was interesting. And I did hey, David Montgomery's a good back.
He's stayed pretty consistent, for his career. His yards per carry, I think, have held steady.
And if you're the Lions, I absolutely see why you would give that up and why you would want him. And so, look, yeah, because here you go. So it was at 10:01 a.m. He waited just until the minute we got off the air.
Knew it.
And it said, Lions are sending running back David Montgomery to the Texans for a 5th-round pick per sources. That was 10:01. And then he comes back. Let's see how long it was. At 10:09. Updated compensation. Texans get Montgomery. Lions get 4th-round pick, Juice Scruggs, and a 7th-round pick. Something, I don't know.
So 10:02, someone's on the phone to the Lions. Say, I got a 4th-round pick for Montgomery for you. Wait, hold on.
I don't know what happened in those 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Something happened.
Something happened to change.
Juice Scruggs said, I want out.
So do you like that return, Jake? We've been focused on what it would take to get a running back upgrade for the Chiefs. Do you like that return? Is that something that they should have been in on?
The Chiefs? No. They don't have the capital for that.
Did they give too much for Montgomery, the Texans?
Probably a little bit, but I understand. I mean, you got to overpay for that.
But if that's the guy you want, you think he fits in your offense?
Yeah, the 28-year-old running back for me is not something.
He hasn't been overworked, though. He's been in a timeshare.
You'd like to think that you can get a running back that's pretty good with a 4th-round pick.
Right.
Montgomery, I think he was a 3rd-round pick, late.
Yeah, I mean, you know what you got with him, though. I mean, so that's the thing. It's like you take up a running back in the 4th round. I mean,
yeah, it could be a hit, could be a complete
You know what you're
miss.
going to get with Montgomery.
Yeah, but I think to your point though, Jake, like if you're in the Texans boat and you feel like this is only one of like a few pieces that you really need to add,
You want the sure thing.
you want the sure thing. But I heard you guys talking with Kaplan last week about like the Chiefs have a lot of things to address. Giving up a couple draft picks for one guy that's also not going to be like, I don't think, would you expect David Montgomery to be your, like you said, he hasn't really been the like every down back. He usually split carries with somebody else, hasn't he?
In Chicago,
Right.
he was the main guy.
But listen to
That was a
this.
while ago
Tell
now,
me if this
really.
would surprise you.
In 2020,
Okay.
2019.
Since he was drafted in 2019, there are 5 running backs that have had at least 6,000 rushing yards and 50 rushing touchdowns. 5 of them since 2019. Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, and David Montgomery.
Yeah. He's been consistent, and he's a tough running back. He's physical.
They were only 22nd in rushing yards per game. They were led by Woody Marks, the guy they got in the 4th round last year.
Right.
He had 703 yards. So they probably said, you know what, we spent a 4th round pick on a running back last year.
And he was pretty solid.
He was pretty solid, but he wasn't enough.
No, yeah.
But then, with David Montgomery now, then probably feel like, okay, now we're good.
Yeah, I mean, Mixon blew up in their face. I mean, they were depending on him when they traded for him 2 years ago, and he didn't play it down last year. So they have Montgomery under control for the next 2 years.
And look, he could. I know he's 28, but relatively fresh because he averaged 14 and a half rushes per game, 16.3 touches per game in his first 2 seasons with the Lions. But like for last year, he only averaged 9 rushes a game and almost 11 touches a game. He played 41% of the offensive snaps. And he didn't have more than 10 carries in a game in any of the Lions' final 8 games. So there's not a whole bunch of miles on him, at least from last year.
Yeah, that's probably good because, like you said, he's getting closer to 30, and he's got almost 1,500 carries under his belt in the NFL.
He'll turn 29 in June. He's set to make $5.49 million this season. It's the first of a 2-year, $18.25 million extension he signed with Detroit in October of 2024. So
it's a good move for them, but I don't think it's the right, like you said, I don't think it's the right thing for the Chiefs.
But now at least you're starting to see the market take shape because of the contract Javonte Williams got to stay with the Cowboys, and now the trade compensation we see now for David Montgomery. And I think Javonte Williams got a little bit more than people were expecting, and you see here, and I just didn't pull 5th-round pick out of the air. There have been enough people that said, what's the compensation for David Montgomery? Around a 5th-round pick. And now you see that's a little bit more than we thought. Mm-hmm. And so I think we're heading down a road where Travis Etienne and or Kenneth Walker III might be a little bit more pricey than what the projections are. We'll see.
All of a sudden, running backs are more valuable again.
All the more reason to select Jeremiah Love with number 9.
Duh.
If he's there.
Right. It's all
and Jake, you are safe because I don't think he's going to be there.
Right.
Every mock draft I see now has him going to 3 to Arizona or 4 to Tennessee. But I can promise you, if he falls to 9, Brett Veach should take the card and do cartwheels up to the podium. He should take his shirt off and flex on the stage.
I'll bet you he looks pretty good with his shirt off, Veach.
I haven't thought about it at all.
He's pretty fit. I think he's a fit
haven't
guy.
thought about that at all.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a little weird.
Out of my realm, buddy. I don't know.
I hadn't really thought about it till now, but the guy seems pretty fit to me.
Sure you haven't.
You know who's really fit?
I wouldn't be ashamed
Extremely
of it if I had.
fit, Jeremiah Love.
He is, and he's fast, explosive.
Does it all.
And Veach isn't afraid to trade up, Steven.
What would you do if they traded up to get him? I know they're not going. I'm asking you what you would do if they traded up to get him.
I don't have to think about it because it's not.
Okay, but I'm asking you that.
Come on, you never know.
Entertain me for a moment.
Know.
Come on.
Has Veach ever traded up before?
What would you do?
Not inside the top 10.
What would you do if they traded up to get him?
I'd question my fandom.
What did they
You'd
trade?
lose it.
Where did they take Mahomes?
10?
So top 10.
But inside the top
You'd
10 is what I
lose.
said.
You'd lose your mind.
Yeah, I would. That'd be ignorant. I'm starting to think they should take that 9 pick and trade for Max Crosby.
How old's he?
Who cares?
I do.
Who cares? Who cares?
He's great.
You and Gehrig.
Yeah, I'm on Team Gehrig now.
Okay. Well, it's not just a draft. Then where's the money coming from?
Oh, the cap's not a real thing.
Oh, wow.
They'll figure it out.
Seems like it's been kind of real for the Chiefs.
It's not.
Well, they've lost a lot of good players over the last 5 years.
And Juwan Taylor's like, it's not? What? What are you talking about?
No, he got cut because he sucks.
He does not suck.
Max Crosby will be 29 by the time the season
You're right.
kicks
He
off.
doesn't suck.
This is the thing about Juwan. But I hear this from a lot of people.
He doesn't suck.
Juwan Taylor was a far better right tackle than people give him credit for. And one of the main things that went wrong for him in Kansas City is Chris Collinsworth decided that was going to be the target of his angst because Juwan Taylor is not the only right tackle that does that. Now, some of the penalties were mind-numbing, but he was better than people want to give him credit for.
He was good in protection, and he just had an issue with penalties.
Because I want Jalen Moore to be good at right tackle, but that, I don't know. Hopefully they're right. But I think in a perfect world they'd have kept him, but they, just not financially responsible to keep him too.
Even
it's
even
just
with that fake cap.
It's time to go.
They paid a lot on the free agent market for him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not worth what they're paying him.
No.
That's just reality.
Usually you're not when you get to free agency. Usually you're overpaying for a guy in free agency.
Yeah, and that was in the midst of improving that line after the,
And they won a championship with him.
Yeah,
Can't take that
So
away.
I'll call it good.
Yeah.
that's fine. That cap does not exist, though, Nate. Come on.
Seems like it does.
It's a phantom. I mean, you got to maneuver around it, but if you want to make things work, there's plenty of ways to make things work. We've seen it time and again.
Yeah, but we've also seen it catch up to teams that do that at some point in time.
You also
You
need
kick
your
the can down the road long enough, but at some point the
Where it
bill
catches
comes
up with
due.
you is when you get dead cap and you have guys that are getting paid $70 million on your.
they don't want to do that.
Right.
They're unwilling to do that, the Chiefs. And you could argue for it or against it,
But they've had to let a lot. Yeah, they've had to let a lot of guys go.
I mean, no key guys. I mean, they haven't lost any.
Legarius Sneed was pretty key to me.
They traded him. They traded him.
Yeah, but
they got a draft pick for him.
Right, but they did that because that was more economically reasonable under the cap than
they don't
signing.
re-sign any of their cornerbacks. I mean, they let Ward go too.
But they become more expensive. Part of the reason they don't, if they could keep them, if there was no cap to deal with, they would have a different.
We'll
approach.
see. The real test will be if they extend McDuffie here, then you'd be like, yeah. I mean that. But if they end up trading McDuffie, then,
Well, they'd like to bring back Brian Cook, but he might be too expensive.
Right.
They would really like to bring back Jalen Watson, but they can't afford him.
Right.
So that's where the cap is real.
Yeah.
Those are two guys that I can promise you they want back.
for sure,
and those are
but-
two guys I don't know that they can afford.
Well, I think because they'd rather take the resources that would cost for those guys and spend and put it elsewhere, because they know they can develop secondary, players. They've proven that.
But it is all about managing the cap, because if it wasn't a problem, they'd just pay him more money.
Okay, I'm saying if they wanted to trade for Max Crosby, they would figure out a way to get him under the cap, if that's something they wanted to do.
Yeah. But they do have to consider how to get him under the cap, because it would cost a lot of money. And he's going to be 29 years old at the start of August, or start of the season. So,
Well, I mean, yes, the cap is real, but let's not pretend like it's not a real thing that they have to worry about in terms of like they can figure out how to make it work.
Right. There's some limitations, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you could bring in Crosby, and then you'd have nobody else that you could add. Just draft picks. And,
Just depends on how they did it.
Right. We will take a break. Back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Let's say hello to former Chiefs wide receiver Marc Boerigter. Marc, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing well. How are you fine gentlemen this morning?
I'm good, man. I feel like it's the calm before the storm. We've got so many big events on the horizon, like legal tampering and free agency and NFL free agency and the Big 12 tournament and the NCAA tournament and the NFL draft. That we're just kind of, now that the combine's done, we're kind of easing into this final weekend of college basketball. And then by this time next week, we'll know about some of the free agents and where they're going. And that'll help paint the picture of what's going to happen in the draft. And then right after that, was a week from today, right? The Big 12 tournament starts. And then we'll be in, and all of a sudden, we'll have the wonderful union of NFL free agency and, Selection Sunday, and then we can really get ready for the draft. So it's a great time of year to be in a sports talk show. Did you get a chance to monitor any of the goings-on at the NFL scouting combine?
A little bit.
That has Jake on edge right now.
A little bit.
Well, you see this Jeremiah Love?
Yeah, I saw that.
Man, oh man, does he run fast. This guy's out there. This guy's out there running routes like a wide receiver.
Yeah, he looks good.
Fast as Jamal Charles.
Did a backflip for all of his team. They love him. People love him.
Well, a lot of guys can do backflips.
Yeah, but he did it for his team, for his temporary teammates. Goes on the radio and basically says, "Yes, I want to play for the Chiefs. Yes, I want to come home to the state of Missouri. Bring him home. I mean,
yeah,
make it happen."
How come Mizzou didn't get him to begin with?
Well, Mizzou doesn't get running backs from the St. Louis area normally. Well, you know what? They got Jamal Roberts. Hey, I'm not going to complain about it. They got Ahmad Hardy and Jamal Roberts, perhaps the best 1-2 punch of running backs in the nation next year. So far be it for me to complain. But look, he wanted to go to Notre Dame. Notre Dame, they're pretty good with running backs right now. They might have the top 2 running backs in this draft between him and Jadarian Price. Yep. So seems like maybe they should have been in the playoffs, huh?
Probably.
Sorry, Timmy.
Well,
missed out on that one.
Yeah, join a league. Maybe it would have been.
Do you guys want him here in Kansas City?
Who's that? Jeremiah Love?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant Tim Grunhard.
Well,
I don't know, maybe. We'll see.
Most of the time.
Do I? Boy, do I. Sure I do.
Okay, do you think he falls to 9?
No. Nope.
Okay, then maybe it was his fault that they didn't want to go to, a bowl game, that they opted out, too. Yeah. Start the rumors, Steven. He'll slide to 9. You'll be in good shape. It's that time of year.
Question his heart.
Yeah, it's that time of year, man. That's what I'm saying. Start it.
I was looking for something like at that combine that could make him fall, or okay, let's see him at the podium. Oh,
it was his whole idea. He pouted because they didn't make the playoff, and so he decided that Notre Dame wasn't going to go on and play.
Let's hear these interviews. Maybe he'll say, "Oh boy,
that's why."
Great.
Get him to slide. Get him to slide to 9 for you, Steven.
I was just looking for something. Drop a ball, dude. Mess something up,
Is Jake? Conversely, Jake's happy because now he's gotten so high priced that the Chiefs can't draft him.
Correct. Yeah.
You like that?
I do. I love it.
Some sucker is going to get
him. No pun
there's
intended.
A lot, but again, there's a lot that changes between now and the draft, and again, free agency is going to help paint that picture.
Yep.
For sure.
And there's a couple of teams that are going to be in the hunt for Travis Etienne, and the team that lands him will probably take themselves out of the Jeremiah Love sweepstakes, and so let's see where Etienne goes. What if that's who the Chiefs target and sign? Would you like that?
I don't know.
How do you want them to address the running back situation?
Well, they need to address it one way or the other, right? For me, I think a lot of it is, whether Kareem Hunt's back or not is beside the point, right? Because I do think there's a role for him. Obviously, he's over 30 years old now and not near as explosive, but he's your short yardage type of back, right? There is a role and a place for him, but maybe there isn't moving forward here either, too. And that's okay either way. My whole thing is they do not have a running back on the roster right now that is a starter caliber. And, would Pacheco potentially be back? Potentially, right? I just don't think his.
Well,
here's where I go with that.
Can't believe that would be true.
Well, where I'm going with that is like in a backup type of role in a depth piece, right? It's not about that they're going to give him money, right? And his market's not going to be good out there is where I'm going with it. But they can't go into the year here in 2026 with him as a viable option because he's not, right? That doesn't mean he's not going to be here is what I'm trying to say.
I would take away any possibility of him being an option by not having him on the team.
Well, I would agree with you there. I'm just saying, don't be surprised if something happens that he's not back here in a depth, in a depth type of role. But they've got to get more explosive there in the running game. Obviously, we all witnessed it here over the last couple of years. It is a need for them. They whiffed in free agency last year on it. They have to address it in some capacity in free agency. The question becomes, and not to bring it to the salary cap, but it's more about how much are you willing to spend, on that guy, and who do you think that guy is? Is it a Breece Hall? Is it a Travis Etienne? Is it, one of those types of guys? And then if that happens, then what do you do in the draft, right? Because I think what you're going to see in free agency, I think we all know this. I'm not saying anything that's like earth-shattering here, but free agency is going to determine where they go in the draft anyway, right? We saw it a year ago with them signing Jalen Moore, and then they go get Simmons in the draft, right, after the fact. But Jalen Moore signing was a big portion of that early on because it all happens before the draft. And so you got to figure some of that out. It's how do you look at your budget within your salary cap management and decide this is how much we want to allocate to that running back position and who is that guy. I don't necessarily know if Travis Etienne is the guy. I'm not necessarily as much of a fan of his as I am of Breece Hall. I
don't think Hall's going to be available.
I don't think he is either. Kenneth Walker's not going to be available to you. He's going to demand too much, I think.
He's going to be. I think he's going to be available.
Well, he's available. I'm just saying. I think he's going to be.
Yeah.
There's going to be another team that's going to throw the bag at him, right? That the Chiefs aren't going to be able to compete with. I think so. There are definitely options out there, and honestly, at this point, a lot of these guys that are even in the mid-range for running backs are better than what they have on the roster or had on the roster last year. So either way, they're going to upgrade the position, but it's definitely one that they're going to address in free agency for sure. And I would not be surprised if Love falls to them at 9. He's going to have to be in the mix.
I could probably name. I know I could name 10 free agents that are available that are better than what Isaiah Pacheco was last year.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like there's two different questions here. Like, one is upgrading the position, and one, if Love turns out to be the kind of guy that's like a big-time weapon. It's one thing to have a good, solid running back who's better than what they had. Mm-hmm. It's another thing to have a guy that changes the way the defense has to defend you.
Right.
Like, hey, we got to account for this guy. This guy changes our game. And the Chiefs don't really have a guy on offense like that right now. I think like when they had Tyreek Hill in his prime, you had to game plan for him, right? They had like Travis Kelce in his prime, you had to game plan for him. And who changes your entire game plan that's on the Chiefs offense right now?
For them right now, number 15. That's it.
That's what but yes, the guys
exactly
that he gets
right.
the ball to, they don't have anybody. And whether that's a running back or a wide receiver, I think they need someone like that again.
Yeah.
Because that makes all the decent players become better because all of a sudden they get one-on-one matchups. They get...
Yeah, it's a game of matchups, obviously, and it's hard to find those guys though, right?
Yeah,
like that's the piece to the puzzle is it's hard to find those guys. Now, they have not. Tyreek Hill was kind of a unicorn, right? Especially during his time here in Kansas City, and I'm on the record of saying this. I've never seen a guy as explosive on the football field ever in person as I saw Tyreek Hill. And I go back to the one specific play was the Buffalo Bills playoff game when he caught the crossing route in the fourth quarter and just ran away from everybody, and my jaw just dropped and went, that's unbelievable. Mm-hmm. But he's obviously no longer here, right? Yeah. And so
and he doesn't. That Tyreek Hill probably doesn't exist anymore.
Correct. Those types of guys are unicorns, and so it's hard to find those guys. They've got some good players on offense, and they've had some good weapons. They just have not had a guy. They have not been explosive enough. And I think the big portion of explosiveness, and I've said this before, is It's not throwing the ball 45, 50 yards downfield on a big-time play. Everybody loves it because it's sexy for a touchdown. It's throwing the ball in the intermediate routes, 15 to 20 yards, and letting that guy, take it to the house. Those are all explosive plays. So
see, what you're saying is that's the reason why the people that want the Chiefs to draft Jeremiah Love, that's what they see. A guy who could take the ball to the house.
100%.
Catching the ball, run the ball from anywhere on the field.
Correct.
So it's not us saying take any running back in the first round.
Correct.
It's taking the weapon that he is.
Correct. Because
right?
Yes, because to compare him to Isaiah Pacheco, which is probably unfair to Isaiah Pacheco, but Pacheco was never fast, right?
Right.
He looks like he's running faster based on the way he runs.
His longest carry of the season was 16 yards.
Correct. You can't have that, right? Now,
well, they did.
Are most of the running backs going to take the ball, 60 yards to the house? In a lot of cases, not in the National Football League, but those big plays do exist.
Well, I was just looking at David Montgomery had a 72-yard run.
But if you
he
don't
didn't have one that was 20
Yes,
yards.
if you don't have a guy that can take it even 25, 30, like that's the thing. And there has to be a level of explosiveness there where, every running play, almost every single running play is designed to get the running back one-on-one with the secondary defender, right? Whether it's an outside zone, you're like, we're not going to worry about blocking the corner. Our receiver is going to hit the most dangerous man, and he's going to block the safety and dig him out, right? Well, we're going to make the corner make the tackle. Or you got a safety coming down, and we say, okay, I know our running back can make him miss. Well, guess what? They didn't make anybody miss last year, right? Or they can't run through the tackle to break it 40 yards, move the chains, and get another explosive play. That's what they lack is the explosiveness there.
And by the way, if one of our these running backs the last couple of years makes somebody miss, then they get an extra 3 or 4 yards and somebody else tackles them.
Correct.
Because they catch up. Like if Jeremiah Love makes that one guy miss, he's gone.
Correct.
And
I'm not I was for a while a guy that looked at the value of the running back position because there's a lot of depth at that position usually.
Yeah.
That you can mix and match those guys and whether you want to take them in the first round or not, right? I was on that piece. But there does come a point where we talk about these guys that are, quote, unicorns, and Jeremiah Love might bust out too. Like, he might be an absolute bust.
Right now, by the way, NFL Network, they have Kenneth Walker III, best fit free agency, the Chiefs. So just throwing that out there. They're talking about that.
They have to find an explosive guy. And you know what? If Jeremiah Love is there at 9, the Chiefs are probably going to have to take him.
You want Kenneth Walker or Travis Etienne?
Oh, man. What a question.
Well, they're loving it up right now. They're talking about Walker to the Chiefs.
I think,
and that's what Albert Breer reported. He said that the Chiefs would be one of the suitors.
Walker would look great in this offense, but I do worry about him on third down.
Yep.
I think Etienne's a more all-around back. He proved it last year that he could be a 3-down back. So
he was much better last year.
I'd probably lean at Etienne.
Don't you feel like Walker will be more money too?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He'll probably be $3 or $4 million more per year.
Here's the other thing about Etienne too, right? Playing in Jacksonville, like he got drafted during the Urban Meyer era. They wanted to make him almost a wide receiver. In a lot of ways, their first year, they were really trying to throw the football to him out of the backfield. They did some kind of crazy things with him. So when I say I'm not necessarily as much a fan of his, it's probably more about how they tried to use him, right, as opposed to this last year.
Seems like Liam Cohen.
Yes, where this past year, Liam Cohen said, okay, he can catch the ball out of the backfield, but he's a running back.
Right? Urban Meyer utilized players well when he was in Jacksonville? No.
He utilized something as well.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That was a train wreck. You're absolutely right. And look what a competent offensive coach.
Yep.
And when we were listening to Nate Tyson, his podcast, talking about it, he said he was never he was never as high on ETN as everyone else. Because he wasn't a detail-oriented guy, wasn't great in pass pro, but he made big strides in those areas last year.
Yep.
Well, that's not a coincidence that you bring in one of the best young offensive coaches to be your head coach in Liam Cohen.
Correct.
And you got more out of him. And then guess what? If you're hoping to get more out of a running back, well, you got Eric Bieniemy at offensive coordinator. You got DeMarco Murray as your new running backs coach.
Yep.
And so I feel good about Etienne when I hear people like Nate Tice say, well, man, he's got everything, but he just needs to be more detail-oriented, a bit better on third down pass pro. Well, I think I got a guy that can help out with that.
Yeah, there's a guy here that'll hold him accountable to that for sure. Yeah.
So you guys were talking about the explosive plays over 20 yards.
Explosion.
I'm just looking it up real quick. Kenneth Walker last year had 15 carries of over 20 yards. He had no carries over 30. So, but 15 compared to, what'd you say? Isaiah Pacheco had one?
16.
Oh, yeah, 16.
16 yards.
Yeah, so, by the way, just for reference, Etienne had 5 carries over 20 yards last year. So, if that's one of the things that you're looking for, Walker would be.
Again, those runs don't exist a lot in the National Football League because everybody's so good on defense, right?
Yeah.
But
15, that's almost one a game.
you have to have. Here's the thing: Isaiah Pacheco doesn't have that ability to break that, right? These other guys do.
Yep. Which changes the way you defend.
Yes.
And Reed talked about that a bunch in the offseason. Like the other teams did not respect our run game.
Yeah.
The way they defended us made everything else harder because that was just one thing they weren't worried
100%.
about.
Veach said that they have to get a more explosive running game 4 different times in one answer.
Explosion.
He mentioned. I mean, it's not a huge revelation. I mean, we saw it.
It's not, but
Yeah, right. We saw it play out, and they're going to be aggressive in doing it. And it's just, and I think it has to be a combination. Because, you look, you get Jeremiah Love, that fixes everything. But you can't go into free agency. It is kind of similar to last year.
Yep.
With, man, could Justin Simmons actually fall? Probably not. So let's go ahead and get Jalen Moore.
Yep.
But then, when Justin Simmons fell, we got him.
Yep.
Now, signing Walker or Etienne, I think that takes him out of the Jeremiah Love sweepstakes. But
that doesn't mean they're not going to draft somebody else in the second round.
Oh, no,
third
they
round,
will.
So, yeah, absolutely.
But if they go out and sign like Algier from the Falcons, then I think that leaves the door open. If Love falls, they would still take Love.
Because he probably fits, Algier from the Falcons probably fits a little bit more into that mid-level guy, right? Budgetary-wise, salary cap-wise,
Yes.
contract-wise, that it's going to be a much more modest, quote, modest contract for a running back, for sure, in free agency.
But if you go out and sign, somebody like Etienne, and then you go out and end up with Mike Washington out of Arkansas, who I think might have played his way into the second round, but we'll see. But then now you're talking. Let's go. Because I think they have to add 2 running backs and just totally overhaul that running backs room. And I think they're going to do it. We'll take a break. Back after this on WHB. What's up, Kansas City? Stephen St. John here to tell you more about my friends at Joe's Kansas City Barbecue. I love Joe's. I might be going to pick up some Joe's Kansas City Barbecue after the show, either today or tomorrow. With that Joe's To Go app, I download the app, put my order in, enter my pickup time, and then I am good to go. But let me tell you about Joe's, because if you're like me, you're trying to do things right. And so on Fridays, no meat, Jake, during Lent. But Joe's has an answer for you, because it's always fun to check, hey, where can I eat some delicious seafood? Where can I have some fish on Friday? How about Joe's? How's that sound, Jake? Maybe I can take you there. Could I interest you? Available every Friday until Easter. A soft shell crab or fried shrimp served on a toasted bun with Joe's coleslaw, sliced tomatoes, and their house-made sauce, remoulade sauce. Oh, my goodness. You get a sandwich and your choice of side for $15.99. And, as always, They offer the smoked portobello mushroom Z-Man all day, every day as an additional option. So if you are looking for delicious seafood during Lent, their Lenten menu, what would you choose right now if I told you? The soft shell crab or the shrimp po' boy?
Both.
Wow.
I'll take the crab.
Unbelievable. Eric, if you're listening, he wants both. And so go to Joe's Kansas City Barbecue. And remember, when you go to Joe's, please tell them Stephen St. John sent you.